Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the number one source for the RVGCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RVGCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RVGCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Wow. Welcome to Saturday Night Dialogues. It is May the 3rd, 2025. We have a jam-packed call tonight. It's going to be a little unusual, but it's going to be on point. Let's jump into some prayer. Father God, we thank you. As always, we give you honor and we give you glory for allowing us to be a part of this blessing that you have for sure allowed each and every one of us to be born at this moment in time in this generation to be a part of this shift into the next generation. We are grateful. Father, we ask that you allow each and every person here that are with us tonight to be able to grasp, understand, and comprehend the knowledge and information that's being shared. If there is just one person that will be able to take this information regarding their blessing that they have coming to them, and they can make a shift within themselves to do what is best for themselves, taking the 8 steps, making the necessary steps to prepare for their blessing, and not continue to follow the sheep mindset that the gurus have been giving them. Father, it's that one person is who we care about. We don't care about the many. We only care about that one. So we ask that you allow the light to shine in the midst of darkness for anyone that might be one of those sheeple and wondering what they need to do next to prepare. We ask that you continue to give the light to Goldilocks, Wiley, myself, and the tribe to help as many people as we can, but one is all we need. In your precious name, we pray. Amen. Real quick, announcements. Goldilocks QFS Dialogues Room. Of course, the room's open from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. That's our new hours. We're now closed on the weekends. And, of course, the QFS Dialogues Room, that is ground zero for all of Goldilocks articles where we break them down. That is the place where you come if you want to be educated on how to be prepared to establish relationships with the actual bankers who are waiting and ready for you to help you in your journey for the RV. Also, that is where we're able to have the tribe, along with Wiley and myself, that reach back and help people to guide them. It's the guidance that people need in order to get ready for the RV. Not this old, just get the 8 steps, get the Wiley questions off the YouTube and the internet from someone else's room and just go out there willy-nilly and try to figure it out and put buzzwords out with these bankers and think you're going to figure it out. No, the QFS Dialogues Room is where you get the guidance. All right. And then we have D's room, where D drops articles around the clock from around the world regarding the global finance, regarding politics, and all matters related to the RV. Then we have the crypto finance room, where Dave Rose Big Dog drops articles and also interacts with members. If you have anything related to crypto, that's the room. Any questions related to crypto, that's the room. Then we have the Goldilocks Global Banking News, which is your daily podcast, where every single day we are able to bring to you on YouTube a live podcast on Goldilocks' daily updates, play by play or regarding the RV. You don't want to miss any of the episodes because they actually show you, prepare you with the pieces of the puzzle of what's going on. The members in the Goldilocks QFS Dialogues Room and who follows Goldilocks in general are able to come to the Goldilocks QFS Dialogues Room and Goldilocks Global Banking News and get themselves prepared. People are able to connect what they learn from Goldilocks and what they learn from the actual bankers, and they synchronize. The information synchronizes. That's how they're able to get prepared. All right. Tonight we have some amazing members that are going to bring forth their latest updates with their bankers. And right after that, we're going to get into articles. Two topics. One will be Iraq connecting to the world mid-2025. This is from Iraq. Iraq is making this announcement that in mid-2025, what they're going to connect to is going to be a global connection. And then we're going to bring you the latest on the meeting that Vietnam had here in the United States on May the 1st. And we're going to show you what that meeting, the agenda was. And then once the update from the completion of that meeting comes out in the next couple of days or weeks or whenever it may be, we will bring that to you. But we already know what the topics of that meeting was for, and we're going to bring that to you tonight. All right. So we have some amazing members that are going to bring their updates. We have Nickel Zink and then Armor of the Father that's going to share his latest update. Then we're going to have a unique teachable moment where we're going to have ER that is going to come on at that time. And we're going to share, before ER comes on at that time, a little later, we're going to share a 6-minute audio clip. I'll get to that audio clip, but it is where a guru, decided to take one of our shorts, and this particular guru has been doing this for quite some time. But one thing that we're going to let it be known tonight is not to mess with our members. We thought that we did that with the little weasel, but we're taking somebody to the woodshed tonight. And it's going to be a little tar and feather session for this specific guru. And I don't like to do this. However, I asked the members in the room during the week if they would like for this to be exposed, and I just have to listen to the people. So that's what we're going to do, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be unique. It's going to be different. And it may not be so fun because ER is our member. She's very upset. And we're going to get into that. That'll be right before we get into the articles regarding Iraq connecting to the world in Vietnam. So this particular tar and feather session we're going to have is a teachable moment. It's going to be some tough love. And so some of you may not like it, but if it's in the best interest of our members, in the best interest of anyone that follows this particular guru, and then, oh, well, that's going to trump the feelings that anyone may have for what they might hear tonight. And this is just necessary. That's what you're going to hear. All right. We're going to have Nickel Zink. I think I saw you. And then Armor of the Father. We're going to come to you. Nickel Zink, if you can unmute, we're going to come on to you. I saw you. There you go. If you can unmute Nickel Zink, you'll get it. You'll figure it out in a second. Oh, then of course we have the one and only Peculiar Ram that's going to be reading the articles tonight. She's always so eloquent and entertaining at the same time. All right, Nickel Zinc, are you able to unmute?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Now I can hear you now. How's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Thank you. Doing well, doing well. You posted in the room the other day an amazing update, and you've been around for quite some time, and you've been at this journey for a minute, and you finally have made some tremendous progress. Can you share?
Yeah, I can do that. My story might be a little vanilla compared to everybody else, but I mean, where I kind of was my wife and I had some things set up and we were just kind of all over the place. We had
Right.
some brokerage accounts and stuff like that, and we had set up a basic trust for our children and things like that. And we were working on trying to clean up and refine the edges and
Okay.
essentially a plan moving forward. So we
Uh-huh.
put that into process with the private wealth manager, and then that was kind of right before I found the dialogues room.
Uh-huh.
Um, so we had asked them some questions in that, and then it was like we were wondering if we were doing well, and we looked at the questions that Wiley provided, and we had asked, I think, I don't know, 4 out of the 8, so we felt pretty comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
and we had good feedback with the private wealth manager. We decided to move forward with him and set up a financial plan and have him kind of help clean up everything, get things out of multiple accounts and kind of straighten it up. But then after
Mm-hmm.
being in the room and all the stories, we decided to take a journey to a tier one bank in our area and kind of explore that option using the process that you guys have been teaching us. And that went rather well for us.
Mm-hmm.
And we've kind of met and set up. Met with the private client banker, and then we've met with the private client advisor, who happens to be the vice president of investments
Mm-hmm.
in our area. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so we kind of sat down and talked to them. I don't know, 4 or 5 times. I mean, it was the first 3 times we just kind of sit and talk, and we'd opened accounts there, just kind
Uh-huh.
of getting to know,
Gonna
talking
get to know
about,
each other.
yeah, kind of foster their relationship, and then
Uh-huh.
they sent us we told them we were upfront with them. We told them we already had a CFP that we were working with, and we were
Mm-hmm.
just exploring options. We wanted to, not have all our eggs in one basket, essentially.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
so then they sent us a wealth plan client profile and asked us to fill it out. So we just said, what the heck? So we filled it out,
Uh-huh.
sat down, talked with them, and we've had 5, 6 meetings with this person at the bank,
Wow.
and
Uh-huh.
sometimes at the meeting they have the private client banker sit in with us on the banking side,
Uh-huh.
um, and we've talked about goals, and essentially now we have a wealth plan set up with our private wealth manager and through the bank, and
Wow.
we have already got our accounts with the on the private side set up,
Uh-huh.
tax advantage accounts, and we've actually already
Wow.
been moving stuff into that, and with our current monthly budget and that, and we're
Right.
already funding those accounts, and
Mm-hmm.
decided we didn't want to wait. We're going to move forward with this stuff now, and when
Mm-hmm.
time comes, introduce that portion to our I guess our wealth plan with these people.
Mm-hmm.
So
Excellent.
that's kind of what.
So it sounds like you went from sort of having you said you had a trust account already set up prior for some uh, uh, personal business matters that you already had in place, but you kind of you said we're all over the place. So now it seems like that you were able to streamline everything, to have accounts set up at the tier one bank and relationships established, and then with the private wealth management firm with accounts and also relationships established. You began to, with your monthly budget, start to put some funds into those accounts to kind of get them warmed up, so that when the RV happens and you have your wealth that comes into those accounts, everything is already set up and ready to go and in motion, relationships in place, bank accounts in place. Is that what I heard correctly?
correctly. We're basically more structured. We were kind of just all over the place, and we've been talking about, getting off our behinds and doing it for a couple of years.
Okay.
Our kids are young, but they're, time flies when you have kids, so they're getting a little older,
Hmm.
and we decided to do that, and it just kind of fell on place with the
Right.
timing of when we discovered the dialogues room,
Right.
and I will say, like, there's a difference on the bank side to
Then the private
the
wealth.
private wealth side. I mean,
Hmm.
we gave them all the same goals, and kind of the plans are pretty similar through them,
Hmm.
and the bank side
Hmm.
aware of where we're at. But what's different on the bank side is we're actually in the process of selling our current house, and we're going
Hmm.
to be buying a new house to get to the school district we want. And on the bank side, they kind of already helping us with that kind of stuff, and maybe what we should do to try to use our down payment from the sale of our house, keep this money we've saved up, try to keep that to make money for us, and not actually, use our own money to for down
Hmm.
payment and stuff like that. So they're already working on that kind of stuff with us through the bank, which
Okay.
is a lot more like different in the terms of I guess they're more connected to the bank because they're on the bank side, where the wealth
Hmm.
management private guy is not really in terms with the mortgages and stuff like that, I guess.
Right. Hmm.
So I mean,
Ex-
it's been helpful, and we've talked about in our meetings and tariffs and stuff with them, but I mean, just the big thing was like fostering the relationship.
right.
The tier one guy said he was a former pastor. My wife and I have done some missions work in Haiti, and that kind of spoke to us. And the one thing that he said is, when he got into like doing this stuff, like pastoring, you walk and shepherd your fellowship and
Hmm.
community, and that is kind of what he wants to be the guide and walk and shepherd us through the financial journey as well. So
Beautiful.
that kind of was a nice thing, and
Hmm.
I mean,
Beautiful.
it's they both kind of said when we sat down to meet, it was more of the first couple meetings just kind of getting to know each other, and they both
Right.
directly stated like it's good to sit down face to face and just have a relationship and talk to people,
That's right.
because we've pretty much been face to face on everything. We haven't done any Zoom
Hmm.
calls or anything.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. 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 Wiley, you want to jump in here? You have anything you want to
Yeah,
add
no,
to this?
good for you. Sounds like you had a little bit of a plan. It was kind of loose. You hadn't maintained it or kept it up to date. You circled back on it, got those kind of organized, getting those set properly, and fine tuning those. So that's always good to take what you got and throw it in front of your new people, see what they can do with it, clean it up, versus starting from square one again. But also on the home thing, yeah, listen to these guys because they can get you in their mortgage departments and start doing all kinds of things for you. So you're not taking your nest egg and going and burning that money, and then you still have that house sale still kind of pending. So yeah, I'd work with them on that. They could do a lot of things that most people don't know that they're able to do, and kind of tie up your new mortgage with it and make it very seamless for you.
Yeah, I mean they seem to be pretty good, and they haven't pushed at it. They know where we're at, so we kind of just got our stuff in an account that's make it more interest than it would in a normal checking account. And so we're able to be liquid, and they know what our short term goal is, and they're just
Yeah, and that's
working.
that's the beauty of sitting down in front of these people, building the relationship, tell them where you're at, what you're thinking, what
Hmm.
you want to do. And they're like, we can do that. Let's start working on some stuff now. Hey, what kind of account you got set up? Well, we got another account, make you more interest in what you're making there. Absolutely. These meetings are pivotal in people getting set up properly, and to setting the boundaries of what the expectations are. They have many avenues, folks, that they can go down that you just have never known.
Right.
But yeah, good
Yeah,
on you. Good on you. I mean, you're on the right path. You kind of were on it. Sounds like you were kind of on it before you came to us, but we just kind of clicked a few things in your mind, like maybe I ought to circle back on some of this stuff I had structured, and just tidy it up a bit. So that's good.
yeah. I mean, you guys kind of just, for lack of a better word, lit the fire under the rear end for us to just get moving. Why wait? Which
Right.
Yeah.
time is money, and time don't
Exactly.
wait for anybody. But yeah,
Exactly.
it was good. And then I have read the book, The Richest Man in Babylon, which I know you're a fan of, Freedom
Mm,
Fighter. I stated
mm-hmm.
that in there. That kind of was
Yes.
all around the same time, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, you know, send the I can't remember exactly what it is. You don't send the blacksmith to find jewels for you or whatever. So,
Mm-hmm.
you go to the person that knows that stuff. So
Right.
take the step to meet with these people, and just be personal, be yourself, and let them know what goals you have. And I guess the
Mm-hmm.
only other suggestion I would have for people is they're going to ask you what your budget is. So I would start, if you don't have a monthly budget, start working on that, because they'll be able to look through that with you, and that will help them be able to put together a better plan for you. They're going to ask you for it anyway, so you might as well be ready, because even though we're interviewing them, they're interviewing us. I mean, the one thing that,
Mm-hmm.
that stuck out to my wife and I, the private, or not the private, the tier one bank advisor had asked us, when you have this, surplus of money, do you find yourselves on a monthly budget spending more just because you can, or you're responsible with it, or
Mm-hmm.
kind of testing us how we are with our money, and
Mm-hmm.
people get more funds than they typically have, or
Right.
more funds become available. He called it
Mm-hmm.
spend creep. It's kind of because you are able to do it, you just do it, and you don't realize where
Mm-hmm.
that money's going. So we
Right.
felt like he was kind of gauging us to
That's
see
right.
how we are with our money, to see if we were someone he would probably want to work with.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, because if you would have been talking about, oh, we wanna we wanna buy, a $20 million yacht, we wanna buy, a $50 million airplane, all this type of stuff, and you would, I mean, he would have viewed you differently. Not that he would not have wanted to do business with you, but it would have been a way for him to know that, see, because they have an invested interest to make you money with your money. So if someone is a client, a potential client who's wants to just come in and just spend the money and blow it off, and blow the money, that's not to your advantage as a client, nor to them as a wealth manager. So that's good. He's asking those questions, but good for you, man. We're so happy and proud, because you've been around for quite some time. Like you said, you were sort of sitting on the fence a little bit. You were on the sidelines, warming the bench. Now you got in the game, hit a home run.
yeah, I mean, the tier one bank, I was even asking, eventually would we want to move all the money with him and that kind of thing, because we were upfront with him about that, and
Mm-hmm.
so it's like, we took that as he viewed us as being, we passed his interview on how we manage our money and from our
Right.
financial thoughts, and he
So
just
you're
kind of wanted to go with them, and it's, maybe we will in the future. I don't know. I mean, I think having a lot of stuff with the bank opens up more avenues through the bank to you.
would you consider
So
diversifying between the tier one bank and the private wealth firm?
yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do.
Okay,
That's what we
good.
talked about doing. But I know he was trying to, like, well, why don't you just, eventually you might want to be here. He tried to use like the doctor analogy and stuff like
Right, right,
that.
right, right, right.
We were like, well, we don't go to the primary care for certain specialties,
Right,
Here's
right,
specialty bank
right,
side.
right, right. Good
I
for
mean, I
you.
think it's
Good for you.
just having that, relationship on with the bank side to, that's where we're going to exchange the money
Right.
when it time. But I mean, we haven't even brought it up to them. He kind of left it open one time to if there's anything else, and they just made
Mm-hmm.
us decide, no, we'll just keep working the way we are. I mean, we're getting somewhere with these people, and we're already got a plan in motion that we're already funding, and we
Good for
feel good
you.
about it.
Congratulations, man. We're so proud of you. And also thank you for your participation in the room as well. Because you may not realize it, but whenever you post and you make comments, people pay attention and people are learning from you in the room. And of course, now that you've shared your update, people are going to learn from you and be inspired by you now. So we really, really appreciate it. And congratulations on you, man.
Yeah, if I can be in the room, I'll try to be in there. with times with work, it's tough, but
Yeah.
if I can get in there and help anybody, I'd be more than happy to. And if you haven't
Awesome.
read the book, Richest Man in Babylon, I would probably do it. I'm going to give it to my kids when they get older for summer
Man,
reading.
one of the best books out there by George Clayson, man. It's powerful. Thank you so much, my good man. And continue to keep us updated, and we're here for you. The tribe, of course, is here for you. Whatever you need, help get you to whatever next levels that are necessary. We're here for you. But you're already on your path, so you're almost there.
All right, thank you guys. Appreciate all your help.
You got it. Thank you. All right. I don't see Armor the Father, but I have a question for Grateful One. If you can unmute, I thought I saw Grateful One. You have a very unique situation, and I just wanted to acknowledge you real quick. Are you still here? I thought I saw Grateful One. If not, oh, there you go. Grateful One. There you go. If you are able, Grateful One, if you can unmute, I just want to acknowledge you and ask you a quick question, real quick. I know it's spur of the moment. I'm not sure if you're even in a place where you will be able to unmute. Grateful One.
I'm here.
Grateful One. Now, you did something so magnificent, unusual. Yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? You had how many wealth management meetings? Seven.
Yes.
All Zoom. Were they all Zoom calls?
Just phone calls because unfortunately I was off work, so I was able to fit them all in.
You had 7 phone calls with 7 different wealth management firms. Were they private or were some tier 1 banks, or a mixture of the two?
A mixture of the two.
I don't know how you pulled it off, but 7. That is, I thought it was 4, but I remember you. Go ahead.
So my work schedule, I work Monday through Friday 1 week, and the next week I work Monday through Saturday. So I would have to fit all these dates, quote unquote, on these Fridays.
Okay, that makes sense. Why you did it all yesterday.
Yes.
You're a master planner. Wow, that is phenomenal. So I don't want the details yet, but I just wanted to acknowledge you. I'm sure we'll be able to get updates from you down the line. But Wiley, what you think about this? He had 7 phone calls with 7 different wealth managers yesterday.
Yeah, let's maximize on a plan. Do what you got to do.
Right.
You got to cram all into one day. Do what you got to do. And hopefully, you come out of those with some solid people and some things you might be able to start working with. So good for you.
Yeah.
Yes and no. I'm still
in the process. All right. I wanted to acknowledge you, man, because that was phenomenal. Thank you. I just wanted to acknowledge you, and we're here for you. Whatever we can do to help you move forward, we got your back.
I will definitely reach out to you this week.
All right. Appreciate it. All right. Now, folks, we're going to have ER come to the microphone. But before, let me just give you a little backstory. We put our calls out on YouTube. We don't mind not one bit for anyone, anywhere, to share this information. The information we provide is not proprietary. It's no secret. What Goldilocks puts out is all public information if people just knew where to find it. Fortunately, Goldilocks is a unicorn, is able to have access to the information, put it out, put it into articles, and we're able to break it down. Wiley and myself are able to help people on the bank side to prepare them, along with the tribe, to establish relationships with the actual bankers. So that people, you all have heard many members, just like you just heard Nichols Inc., where they are establishing relationships with the actual bankers, accounts being set up for their funds to not only go in, their exchanged funds to not only go into their accounts, but then also accounts set up for the money to move into, the exchange funds to move into, for the purpose of investment and wealth management. So ER, one of our members, did that. And it just so happens that about 7 or 8 months ago, a guru who professes God, professes to be a godly person, professes to be a patriot, months ago took one of our videos with Brunette Grand and total misrepresentation of Brunette Grand. I didn't get too upset. I didn't get upset about it at all. It was just water off my back. And then this particular guru continued to take our videos, my voice, and chop it up and misrepresent to her audience. I didn't care. I didn't say nothing about it. It doesn't bother me. But this particular guru has taken ER's audio. It was an interview between, well, actually, like you just heard, Nichols Inc., where ER shared her story on a call like this, and myself, Wiley, we asked questions to the member, to ER. So this particular guru, and I don't like to name names. That's just not my style, because I prefer to show grace and mercy, because we all have fallen short from the glory of God. None of us are perfect. But this is a teachable moment. I'm going to do something that Freedom Fighter normally doesn't do. I'm going to mention this guru's name. Just like the one guru, the weasel from Australia, wherever he's from, came into our room sending DMs to our members, I had to say something. I had to put him on blast. Now this other one is Lynn Wick. Her new name is Lying Lynn Wick. Or maybe it's Lynn Wick the hypocrite. This so-called godly person. You're going to hear a 6-minute audio where she took the interaction between ER and I, and she totally misrepresented. She, in the beginning of this audio you're about to hear, she even tells you that she went and got the audio from our YouTube channel. But she calls ER, she doesn't know ER's name, but she says that she's a banker. And the banker doesn't know what she's talking about. The funds are in the account. And she says that she verified that ER is a banker. So she's giving her audience the impression that she has some relationships. Yet she is coming to get information from our YouTube channel, editing it, and carving it out to give her audience the impression that she knows what she's talking about. And this funky, I'm not going to say that, but this lion-ass Lynn Wick, who, and you got to be careful, people, when you have folks that are out here claiming God and representing God, representing spirituality, representing patriotism, but they want you to send them money. It's like you are paying for lies. And this funky panty wearing Lynn went and took our information, and we're going to tar and feather you behind the night, Lynn, because you took our short and you misrepresented and insulted one of our people. Now we're going to give you a taste of your own medicine and expose you behind. And it's sad because I know so many people listen to you, and you are leading so many people to the slaughter. But I'm gonna tell you folks who listen to this woman, it's your choice. We can't save you. You decide to follow Lion Lynn Wick, that's your choice. You decide you want to go down the path of believing Lynn Wick, the hypocrite, that's your choice. So many people are being misled by this charlatan and many other charlatans out there. But we're going to allow you to listen to this 6-minute clip. And I want you to listen very carefully in the deception by this wolf in sheep's clothing, this snake fork-tongued woman. I want you to pay attention. Let's put this clip on, and folks, listen carefully.
I want to say it was Friday because I remember getting it. Not getting it. I went over there and got it.
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
So let me play this for you.
And she can't even get the audio right. I felt like it sounded like a DJ.
A person that works at the bank, but she's not going to sound like it, but she does. So listen.
Include your daughter, your children, your daughter and your grandson. Include your daughter, your daughter. That's her. The video. It's like she has me. Your daughter and your grandson, and the restaurant and bed and breakfast. Is that with the second tier one bank? That you planning up with?
The wealth plan that's already set up and in places with the first tier one bank.
Gotcha.
So that's just waiting. I'm just waiting on the RV so I can fund all those accounts because everything is already set up. It's ready to go. It's just waiting on money.
I love it. So you have how many accounts do you have set up waiting for the funds to come in?
I don't know. I didn't look at it. I didn't go over it. Once he emailed it to me and I knew I had it. He told me it was all set up because I told him everything that I wanted to do. He said all the accounts are set up, and I probably need to go and take a look at it to see what accounts are on there. And but it's all ready to go. We're just waiting on money.
Boom. So I would encourage you to include your daughter, your children, your daughter and your grandson, and the. Now listen to this foolishness. Listen carefully.
Okay, as I said, I'm going to replay this again. I want you to listen. This was a banker. She was telling him the funds have already been released. They're just waiting for it to happen.
That is not what she said.
This interviewer, you should know the voice by now.
It's me, Freedom Fighter.
What have I been saying? The funds have been in your account and ready to be released. They are holding your funds back. Why? Because the QFS wasn't ready. The QFS now has been running for how long? A long time. No, the lady at the bank was verified, Jen. Now I'm going to play it for you one more time. I want you to listen. If If I can verify something, I'm verifying it. That's just for the RV.
More lies coming. Pay attention.
Your daughter, your children, your daughter and your grandson, and the restaurant and bed and breakfast. Is that with the second tier one bank that you planning out with?
The wealth plan that's already set up and in place is with the first tier one bank.
Gotcha.
So that's just waiting. I'm just waiting on the RV so I can fund all those accounts because everything is already set up. It's ready to go. It's just waiting on money.
I love it. I love it. So you have how many accounts do you have set up waiting for the funds to come in?
I don't know. I didn't look at it. I didn't go over it. Once he emailed it to me and I knew I had it, he told me it was all set up because I told him everything that I wanted to do. He said all the accounts are set up, and I probably need to go and take a look at it to see what accounts are on there. And but it's all ready to go. We're just waiting on money.
Boom. So I would encourage you to include.
Here it comes.
All right, so what she doesn't understand is that the accounts have already been done. They can't see them. All she has to do is go in and plug in your account number, and it drops. It opens up. It's always been that way.
ER, if you can unmute this, the floor is yours. And folks, what this Lion Linwick, just like you heard Nickel Zink with his account set up, ER is talking about her account that she set up based on establishing her relationships with the banks where these funds will go into. But this Lion Linwick totally twisted and changed it up. I'm pissed, but go ahead, ER.
Hey, everybody. She's a lion heifer.
Are you a banker?
No, and how do you know what a banker sounds like? How do you verify somebody when you don't know their name?
Exactly.
She is a liar. So she's saying, I don't understand what she don't understand. She don't know what she's talking about. She has no intel, nothing. And these people follow her and they believe her. That's crazy. But she had me heated.
How did you feel when you first heard this clip the other day where you and your voice and your journey, you were on the other, in your words, you were on the other side of the tracks following these gurus, confused, dazed,
Exactly.
punch drunk. Then you found us. You got it right. You followed the steps. You went and you established your relationships. You got these accounts set up, and the real email notification that you got was from your wealth manager who emailed you your accounts.
My wealth plan, right?
And you're playing.
Right.
So folks, you want to hear these gurus talk about some notifications, some email notifications? ER got her email notification for her account and her wealth plan from the actual banker.
Exactly. That is crazy. I mean, she just make up stuff as she goes.
And so, I normally don't get upset, but it upset me that you were so upset by this, because it tells me that you were hurt. And you weren't able to defend yourself when you heard your voice and your story being misrepresented. It's like all of what you have done, the effort the planning to put in that you put in place to get to this point. And this, yeah, I like what you said. This heifer totally took what you did and just stepped on it. But just imagine how many other people that listened to her. And as a matter of fact, Zach and Amber, if you hear, I want you to unmute. In fact, Brunette Grand, before Zach and Amber, Brunette Grand, I want you to come to the mic as well, because this fool, this Lion Lynn, did the same thing to you a while back. Am I right or am I wrong? Brunette Grand, you can unmute.
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you. Same thing happened to you with this Lion Lynn Wick, the hypocrite?
Yeah, I'll just twist the story. You know, trying to let everybody know that I wasn't doing it the right way. That's not how you do it. Well, How does she know how to do it?
As a matter of fact, and she doesn't. As a matter of fact, she needs to listen to you and listen to ER to figure out how to do this, because Brunette Grand, for those that don't know, had a banker in her home for breakfast and another one for dinner. As a matter of fact, it is Brunette Grand who was one of the many members who her banker, the wealth manager, she has a signed agreement for this wealth manager that will exchange her funds on her behalf. Am I right or am I wrong, Brunette Grand?
No, that's very right.
So, Lion Lynn Wick, what you need to do is be over here taking notes. Instead of taking the information and just presenting it to your audience, misrepresenting it to your audience, lying to them, misleading them, deceiving them, asking them for money, you need to be over here listening and taking notes from Brunette Grand, from ER, the alleged banker that you claim doesn't know about the QFS accounts. Since you spend so much time listening, you got your 2-3 hour live streams. You need to take at least 10 to 15 minutes from these ladies and their stories and learn how to get yourself structured and established. Why don't you take this information, present it truthfully to your people? But we know you can't do that because you don't have no real information. You can't even take real information that we have and present it real. You're taking what these ladies have done, and you have no idea the ups and the downs that these folks have gone through in order to get to the point where they are literally established at the banks. If you consider yourself a leader, Lion Lynn Wick, the hypocrite, you should take exceptional pride in presenting facts to the people that entrust the information or the words that come out of your mouth. But it's obvious that is not your desire to do so. So, ER and Brunette Grand, the two of you are simple yes or no, because we want to make it straight to the point with people. Are the both of you established with your bankers? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Most definitely, yes.
And you are RV ready, meaning that when the RV occurs, your relationships are already set with the bankers? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
And in fact, Brunette Grand, you made pastries for the wealth manager that came to your home for breakfast and lunch. And then ER, you made cookies. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're correct.
It sounds like the secret sauce is sweets. Sweets, cookies, pastries. Brunette Grand, it was banana nut bread. And I think you made chocolate chip cookies?
Chip and peanut butter cookies.
And see, now, come on now. Lion Lynn, you may want to contact these ladies and find out how to make some chocolate chip cookies and some nut bread. But no, you decide to take their stories and take their information and misrepresent to your people. Do you not have a heart?
No, she couldn't have.
No. Sad. And I normally don't get upset like this, but I was hurt because neither one of you could defend yourself as your voices and your stories are out there being misrepresented, and the many, many people who will hear what this charlatan has been saying and lead them to the slaughter.
And they're a believer.
Yeah,
They'll believe
it.
See, because neither one of you were available to counter and say, "Hey, Lynn, I'm no banker. But now you both have a voice on that platform right now. As a matter of fact, Zach, if you can unmute, my good man. Now, Zachary, who actually, and folks, I'm gonna make this disclaimer, folks. Please, I sound like James Brown, but I'm gonna say it again. Please do not send me anything from Lion Lynn or anyone else, these gurus out there that you see all over Dinar land. Please don't DM that stuff to me because I'm mentioning this tonight. This is a one-off. This is an exception. But Zachary, who religiously was following lion-ass Lynn Wick, share this information with me. As a matter of fact, Zach, and before you and Amber started following the 8 steps, I think you was listening to Lynn Wick and you ran into an issue at the bank initially. Am I right or wrong?
You're right. We were caught up in the guru foo-foo, and she had us locked up at the bank looking stupid. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And was that where she was telling y'all to go in there? Because in fact, now that reminds me, we're doing that Grand's audio. She was telling people, this freedom fighter information, you can take it, go to the bank. Yeah, we agreed, go to the bank, but tell them what currencies. Talk about dinar. Talk about this. Talk about that. Yep. People getting blacklisted. Listen to that. Luckily, the two of you didn't. But is that what you guys did in the beginning?
In the beginning, yes, we did. We had our clear folders with all of our currency in the folders and colored copy, front and back. Took it up there to J.P. Morgan. Was our first stop, and got laughed at basically
because you were listening to Lion Lynn. So then, when you guys started following the steps that we provided, fast forward. Speaking of accounts being set up, you guys have your account set up with your wealth management firm. As a matter of fact, they even set up your trust accounts and insurance policies. Am I right or am I wrong?
You are correct.
And send us weekly newsletters about what's going on to keep us informed.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, y'all were listening to Lynn Wick, the hypocrite, that misled you. But thank God you get, folks. Do you see the common denominator here? Zach and Amber accounts set up. ER accounts set up. Brunette Grant accounts set up. All with tier 1 banks and private wealth management firms. But meanwhile, Lion Lynn talking about they don't know what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know what they're doing. Oh, she verified that ER was the banker and the accounts. Money is in the accounts. Oh my Lord.
Ready to be dropped from the skies, okay, into your account. All you need is the account number. Like, when I heard that, I'm like, excuse me? What?
I'm so sorry, ER. I was at work. When I heard that, I paused in my tracks. I started listening. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not how it goes. What is she talking about? I'm like, I heard this. That's like, wait a minute. And it got deeper and deeper. And she played it again. I'm like, oh my God. Wait till I get home and I let Amber hear. She looked dead at me. Her mouth dropped. And I was scared to let you know, but I'm like, screw that. This kind of
I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did.
Oh my God. I'm sorry.
Be waiting for money to fall into these imaginary QFS accounts because of that call. Just waiting for
Sad.
magic money.
Sad. See, she never imagined. See, and this goes to show you folks how tight knit our community is, where we have Zach on his way to work listening to Lion Lynn. He probably, even though he knows his route to work, he probably got lost on his way to work listening to I'm just joking. And so here we have Zach, who just so happens to listen to see, and this is where folks, and this is just anyone, I don't care who it is, you have to be careful who and what you allow into your cipher, into your being, who and what you listen to. Because if you have folks that might want to listen to the spiritual and the godly things someone's saying, and then you might want to say, okay, let me put back the RV talk and let me just take in the godly stuff. Meanwhile, you can actually digest. You can ingest all of the garbage coming from that one single source.
Mm-hmm.
When you have to disconnect. This is why, and I don't mean to get preachy, but this is why in the word it says you can't serve two masters. And that doesn't mean a being or a person, but you have to master your own destiny. That's the master that you have to focus on. So when you put your intellectual and your spiritual desires and your faith into a being, a person who talks God, who talks spirituality, who talks patriotism, don't do that. This is why Wiley and I tell you, we don't want you to put all of your investment into us. When you establish your relationships with these bankers, you don't need us anymore. We don't want you to depend on us anymore. You have to take your power back. So Brunette Grand, ER, Zach and Amber, all of you, anyone that's listening to this, you establish your relationships. You have the power. You are the masters of your own destiny. This investment is your blessing, not mine, not Wiley's. It's yours. We have our own blessing here with this. But we are mastering our own destiny with this investment. So you cannot serve two masters. Listening to a Lion Lynn and she talk about God and spirituality and then have the nerve to also take in when she's saying about the RV, because it's obvious she's a forked tongue fool and has no idea what she's talking about. So you have to protect. My grandma used to always tell me when I was young, she would say, protect your energy, baby. Protect your energy. So when you are taking in all of these different people, all of these different gurus, all of these different channels, you are not protecting your energy. Because what you're doing, what some of you may do is you take a little bit of what they say that resonates with you, and then you put back what doesn't. But no. It don't work like that. This is not a plate of food where you got fives. You got your greens, you got your carbs, you got your protein. You can take off the protein and leave the carbs and the grains. But when it comes to your spirit, you listening and you taking in what people are saying, you can't just take a little bit here and put back. No, you're taking it all and you get misguided and you get confused. But I'm glad that Zach and Amber said, they woke up and said, no, we can't accept this. And I'm so glad. See, this Lion Lynn, she doesn't know that we have people all over.
Mm-hmm. We listen to her for entertainment purposes only. That's it.
And that's what it is.
Nice laugh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And she is entertaining. I haven't heard anything other than this foolishness that she put out. But from what I understand, she has a lengthy disclaimer, and probably entertainment purposes is included in that disclaimer. And folks, that reminds me, when you hear these gurus, they give their disclaimers about their rumors and their gut feeling and their opinion. What they're doing is protecting themselves from lawsuits, because they can always come back and say, well, I didn't know. I told you it was only for entertainment purposes. Meanwhile, they asking you to send them money. They got memberships. So you're paying for lies. How can you accept to be truly blessed from this investment if you don't invest your heart and soul into learning truthfully about it? But thank you, Zach and Amber. I appreciate you sharing this with me. I normally would not say anything, but if it hurt ER, it hurt me. It hurt Brunette Grand, hurt you, Amber, hurt you, Zach. It hurt me. I'm one that is very gracious. I'm non-confrontational, but I was one when I was younger that I would bully the bully because I don't like for my people to be hurt. I can take the knives, I can take the daggers, but when they point them daggers at my people, my friends, those that I love and I care for, I'm a giant, but you never want to wake a sleeping giant. Never. Amen. There's going to be quite a few shorts on this, Lion Lynn. Let's see if you share this with your people. I bet you won't.
She's not going to share that.
At all.
Somebody's going to tell her. Yeah.
She gonna hear it because she's over in the YouTube channel taking everything. And that's okay, but leave the truth as the truth. Don't put your forked tongue because you're a viper, a serpent, and you got all these people listening and following you with your slithering self.
Exactly.
Sad. This kind of stuff really gets to me because neither one of you who she misrepresented could defend yourself. Tonight, I defend you. I defend you, ER, Zach, and Amber, and Brunette Grand. And I do it with passion. And I have no qualms about it. And if anyone listening to this, if you don't like what I'm saying, if you take issue with the passion you hear in my voice, just imagine if it was you and I had your back. Would you appreciate it? Now we're going to get, is there anything, ER, because I know this was you. This was your audience. This was she. Is there anything you want to add here, beloved? Go ahead.
No, I'm good, but she going to hell with some gasoline drawers on.
Brunette Grand, if you want to add anything, beloved.
No, I just want to thank you, Freedom. That song that Lady E played, that was perfect. Freedom taking us to the finish line, Lady E and Wiley.
Yes, ma'am.
Much.
Zach and Amber, anything you want to add, beautiful people?
No, I'm just glad that we heard it and we were able to share the information because we were ready to fight there for a second.
Thank you so much for sharing that. It was time. This was a teachable moment, and folks, this is a teachable. Wiley, anything you want to add here, my good man?
No, I think it's all been summed up this evening.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Now, folks, we're going to get into the truth shared with you. None of this lying and Lynn BS intel. We're going to get into the facts and the truth of which, as always, you can take the articles, research the information, vet it for yourself. It ain't just coming from Goldilocks and Freedom Fighter and Wiley. This is where you can take information yourself. We're going to get into Iraq, connecting to the world, mid-2025, and this is directly from Iraq. And then Vietnam and the U.S. visit. Peculiar Ram. Peculiar Ram. Anything you would like to add to what you just heard?
Oh my goodness. I mean, I was behind the scenes doing my little spiel, so I'm not gonna say much. It's just crazy. It's just crazy how much misleading is going on, and I love when you get on your righteous anger tangent. I love it. I love to hear it. You know, I'll be here for it. Because like you said, these vipers, these serpents, they need to be, the head needs to be crushed, you know, so that the body, the people can live. And Second Thessalonians is a scripture. Second Thessalonians. I just want to throw this out here.
Go ahead.
Second Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 6 says, seeing that it is a righteous thing with God to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. So everything that we just said,
Mm-hmm.
it's a righteous anger. It's a righteous thing. So I don't want people to think that, oh my gosh, they just love to just call out people. They love to do this. No, it is a righteous thing with God to basically give people what they give back to you within
Mm-hmm.
context. It's a righteous thing to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. And this lady is causing trouble, and she deserved to get called out. And I was just getting so upset, especially when, like, listening back to the 6-minute call, because I had listened to it a couple of days ago, but to hear it again and it replayed, and then just like her sitting there and just like whispering, like, guess what? They don't know. Like, girl, you don't know. Why are you whispering? You whispering like you have some sort of information that nobody knows. Like, it's very aggravating, but I just want to let you know, and to let ER know, and Brunette Grand, Zach and Amber, I just want to let you guys know. Thank you for bringing it to the forefront. We get a kick out of doing this, but it's done. It's done in a righteous way, because, like you said, bullying the bully. But yeah, you gotta crush the head so the body can live.
Exactly. So if just one of her followers hear this and wake up, it's all worth it.
Yeah,
it's all worth it. And like I said, I don't like to do, but recompense. It's
a righteous thing. It has to, because the scripture says, God says that they honor me with their mouths, but their hearts are far from me. These people, these gurus, do not have a heart of God. These gurus, whether, like you always say, intentionally or unintentionally, are leading people astray. They're leading you to be blacklisted. They're leading you to be blackballed in the banking industry. So catch up, people. Catch up. If a person has to steal content from somebody else to even have a live or to have a session or a guru intel call, then you know that what they're getting secondhand information, so they have nothing that they can give you anyways.
Exactly. It tells you everything. Tells you everything you need to know.
Everything.
All right, beloved. Appreciate it. Now, folks, let's get into the facts directly from the sources. We're going to go right to Iraq. Strap up. I know some of you got your warm popcorn, but now it's time to strap up. You're going to hear when Peculiar Ram talks about Ice Cutter World, the acronym ASYCUD. This is the Automated System for Customs Data. For those of you who've been following Goldilocks, you've already heard from Iraq. Back in September of last year, they went live in several of their ports. This is an automated system that connects their ports to the international banking system. Then Iraq made another announcement in February that they did some upgrades to that system in preparation to connect to the international global banking system. And now they're announcing that it is an Ice Cutter World where they will, in mid-2025, now connect their port. And think of trade, as Goldilocks coined the phrase, watch the water. You hear now with the negotiations of the tariffs. This is negotiations of trade on goods and services on the water. Now Iraq announcing mid-2025, they're going to connect this system to the for trade, because trade is done at the ports. Now Iraq is connecting and announcing mid-2025. We're almost at mid-2025. All right, young lady, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Iraq is actively working toward implementing Ice Cutter World across all its custom sites by mid-2025 as part of a broader effort to modernize customs processes and boost trade efficiency.
1 second, beloved. So they're connecting to this Ice Cutter World across all custom sites. So that's throughout the whole entire Iraq. Folks, for those of you who may not have heard this before, but those that follow Goldilocks, you already know that Iraq will become a central hub in the Middle East for trade. What are these negotiations that President Trump is having on the table with 80 different countries right now? trade. Tariffs is through trade. And all of this trade is through, for example, in Vietnam, their custom ports. This is where the products, the imports and exports, they come in and out of Vietnam through their custom ports, through China, Russia, Brazil, India, you name the country, Iraq. All of the tariffs are on the ports. What's over the ports? The customs. This is where goods and services, products go in and out, shipped around the world through the custom ports. Go ahead, young lady.
The Ministry of Finance is making progress with automating its programs and is currently implementing the ASCUDA Automated System for Customs Data System within its customs sector. This system aims to modernize customs operations, improve revenue collection, and facilitate trade.
Improve revenue collection, folks. This is where so that they will be able to automate the collection of and the settlement of the transactions for dinar. So through supply and demand in the open world, the global market, the Iraqi dinar, as Iraq opens its ports with this automated system now tracking all the transactions for all of the imports and exports going in and out of Iraq. All these transactions will be settled in the Iraqi dinar electronically. And this system officially connects and goes live, in their words, their announcement, mid-2025. Go ahead, young lady.
ASCUDA is a computerized customs management system that covers various foreign trade procedures, including declarations and accounting. Iraq's adoption of ASCUDA World at key shipping ports like Qusar and other customs sites is a transformative step toward modernizing its trade infrastructure. The system is already yielding significant results, such as increased customs revenue and higher import volumes, and is poised to expand nationwide by mid-2025 by aligning with international standards and improving efficiency.
See, this went live on some of their ports. Their largest port, I forget the name, it slips my mind right now, in September. Iraq has been working on this from the union. And this, for those who may remember, that ICECUDA, this system is from the United Nations. And this same system, ladies and gentlemen, announcement, this same system, ICECUDA, is the same system utilized by the majority of all the countries that are members of the World Trade Organization. This is the same automated system that Iraq is taking live. Go ahead, young lady.
ASCUDA World enables Iraq to strengthen its position in global trade, attract investment, and reduce economic reliance on oil. The sources cited provide robust evidence of the system's implementation and its positive impact on Iraq's international trade capabilities. Yes, many countries are exploring and implementing the use of their own currencies within the banking system to align with evolving international standards and potentially moving away from the dominance of the US dollar. This is happening through the development of central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, and the increasing use of national currencies in cross-border payments.
For those who may get triggered hearing CBDCs, that is not relative to the invasion of privacy of anyone. This has nothing to do with at the bank level CBDCs. CBDC, central bank digital currency. This is just Iraq has already agreed that relative to the Iraqi dinar, they're going to digitize the Iraqi dinar. It will be a digital currency, therefore called a CBDC, which is a central bank digital currency. So for those who might get triggered, no need. Calm your nerves. Go, young lady.
It remains to be seen if the dinar will replace the dollar in these shipping port transactions. The current trend would say so, but many geopolitical tensions are still in flux, and It is too early to tell what is about to happen in Iraq at this time. Watch the water.
That being is too early because we still have to watch the developments. The last conversation that Goldilocks, myself had along with D and the CBI, a few months ago, they told us that they are in the final stages of their negotiations and paperwork with the World Trade Organization. And that is going to play a large part of how the Iraqi dinar will be able to move throughout the world. All right. Now, let's get to Vietnam. So what we're going to now, folks, you got to understand, many of you have been hearing about market economy. You may not know what a market economy is. In the fall of last year, under the Biden administration, there was talks where Vietnam wanted for the United States to recognize them as a market economy. See, the Central Bank of Vietnam controls the value, the rate. Let me just be very clear. They control the rate of the Vietnamese dong. Just like with Iraq, the Central Bank of Iraq controls the rate of the Iraqi dinar. If the Central Bank of Vietnam were to remove their control of the Vietnamese dong and allow the Vietnamese dong to move throughout the international market, then the international market would determine the rate of the Vietnamese dong. Because as long as the Central Bank of Vietnam controls the rate, they will continue to devalue the actual rate of the Vietnamese dong because they make more profit. They make more money on the back end of their exports by keeping the value of the Vietnamese dong low. So they ship so much. As a matter of fact, the United States is Vietnam's number one trade partner. Vietnam ships, they export so many goods and products to the United States. They have become a wealthy nation because of the United States. But the majority of the other countries that President Trump is negotiating these tariffs with, they become very hefty nations, wealthy nations, because they've been taking advantage of the United States by using the US dollar for their transactions, not their own currency, using the US dollar, but at the same time, not allowing the US to come into Vietnam and come into their countries to ship goods and products into their countries, but taxing us at the same time. See, Vietnam, the Vietnamese central bank controls the Vietnamese dong. The Central Bank of Iraq controls the rate of the Iraqi dinar. Do you know who controls the rate of the US dollar? Our central bank. Why is that so? Because the United States is what's called a market economy, because the value of the US dollar is determined by the international market through supply and demand of the US dollar being utilized throughout the world and whatever products we export and ship into other countries. So the international market, which is called the international market, the US dollar is a market economy. The US economy is a market economy. Iraq Vietnam and others are what's called an emerging economy because their central bank controls the value of the currency. But now what would happen if you think about it? Think about it. The US dollar is value, of course, $1. The real value, we know it's less than that. But the international market determines the rate of the US dollar. So it's one. What do you think the possibilities would be if the international market controlled, if the Vietnamese dong was to be released from the grip of the Central Bank of Vietnam, and the international market determines its rate? It would not be triple or quadruple 0.747, whatever it may be right now, because the market would raise the value of the rate because it would be worthy of a higher rate. The market would determine it. So now let's get you a quick education. Let's go to class real quick. What is a market economy? And then we're going to take you to Vietnam and show you what the Prime Minister of Vietnam has requested in this U.S. meeting that was had this week. What is a market economy? Go ahead, young lady.
What is a market economy? A market economy is an economic system in which the production of goods and services is determined by supply and demand. In a market economy, interactions between consumers and businesses determine what is available and at what price.
What is available and at what price of those goods. And what comes with that is that interactions between consumers and businesses throughout the world would determine what is available and at what price, meaning what products are available and at what price. But then also the currency of that country through the trade would be determined through supply and demand from the international consumers and businesses. Now, remember, that's what is a market economy. Now, what's an example of a market economy? Iraq is not one. Vietnam is not one. What is a market economy? What's an example we have here?
The United States is an example of a market economy. It has a central bank, the Federal Reserve, that attempts to influence the overall direction of the economy. It has a Congress that can pass legislation to boost economic activity or protect consumers. But the main driver of the economy is the law of supply and demand.
But the main driver of the economy, aka the main driver of the US dollar, is the law of supply and demand. Not the Federal Reserve Bank, not the central bank. The law of supply and demand, meaning how throughout the international financial market determines the value of the US dollar. So if Vietnam becomes a market economy, you already know, through supply and demand will determine the value of the Vietnamese dong. Now let's get into the negotiations right now. A few weeks ago, actually April the 9th, when the tariffs hit, and the pause came, a 90-day pause, 80 countries or so began to blow up President Trump's phone saying, please, 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 let's negotiate. There were discussions with the Secretary of Treasury of the United States 2 weeks ago with Vietnam. And then also they met in Vietnam. And Vietnam flew here to the United States on May the 1st. It was a negotiation team. Now let's get into it, beloved.
The United States and Vietnam are currently negotiating a comprehensive strategic partnership that aligns with market economy principles.
That aligns with market economy principles. This article was actually written by Goldilocks on April the 28th. So that was a week before Vietnam came to the United States. Goldilocks was able to determine through reading various articles, specifically this comprehensive strategic partnership. And matter of fact, now I think about it, I was on the phone with Goldilocks and I was reading an article and providing some insight on this article, and Goldilocks interjected and says, "Oh, Vietnam is preparing to be a market economy." The language was not in the article that I was reading and going over with Goldilocks, but from what Goldilocks was hearing from the Prime Minister of Vietnam stating, I'm sorry, it wasn't the Prime Minister of Vietnam, it was the Deputy Prime Minister. Goldilocks immediately knew that Vietnam would begin negotiating with the U.S. in an attempt to become a market economy. We're going to get into that next. Go ahead, young lady. A comprehensive strategic partnership.
A comprehensive strategic partnership is a high-level diplomatic and economic relationship between two or more countries or entities, emphasizing deep cooperation across multiple domains such as trade, investment, security, technology, education, and culture.
What this is, folks, is where the comprehensive strategic partnership, this is a relationship between two countries, specifically, let's talk Vietnam, where this isn't new. There has been a comprehensive strategic partnership between the U.S. and Vietnam for quite some time. However, there's been some changes. With the tariffs, Trump has forced Vietnam and this partnership between the U.S. and Vietnam. Trump has forced Vietnam to have to make some changes to what they will and will not allow within this partnership in order for Vietnam to continuously eat so good the way they've been doing from the U.S. And for those of you who've been following Goldilocks for quite some time, and we've been on this topic, we know that the relationship is not a fair relationship because there is no fair trade between the U.S. and Vietnam. It's not fair with U.S. being Vietnam's number one trade partner, but Vietnam had $123 billion surplus in trade with the U.S. last year, and the U.S. had $123 billion deficit. That is not fair. Now, these negotiations, Trump wants all of that to become fair. And with it becoming fair, that means Vietnam has to open their borders and open their ports to us, the U.S., for us and us. They have to stop manipulating the Vietnamese dong and stop devaluing the Vietnamese dong. Because that's how they're able to make so much and profit, and we continue to be in a deficit. Go ahead, young lady. When aligned with the market economy.
When aligned with market economy principles, a CSP prioritizes free market mechanisms, open trade, fair competition, transparency, and minimal government intervention in economic activities, fostering mutually beneficial development based on supply and demand, private enterprise, and economic liberalization.
Open trade. It hasn't been open. It's been closed. It's been open for them trading with us, but we can't send products and goods over there. Fair competition. It's been unfair. Transparency, they have not been transparent. And minimum government intervention in economic activities. Their government has completely controlled the value and the rate of the Vietnamese dong. Supply and demand takes that away. A market economy takes the control of the value of the Vietnamese dong out of the government's hands. Go, young lady. A comprehensive strategic partnership.
A comprehensive strategic partnership signifies a high-level, broad-based, cooperative relationship between two or more entities, encompassing a wide range of areas like economic, political, security, cultural, and social collaborations. It aims to build trust and create a framework for long-term cooperation, often with a focus on shared values and common goals.
So why not, if we're going to be married, we're going to have a partnership. Should a partnership, a marriage, shouldn't it be equal?
It should.
That's the way that it should be. So we should have trust, long-term cooperation, encompassing a wide range of economic, social activities. No, it has not been that way with Vietnam and the U.S. Vietnam has been getting off very, very good. They've been eating real good, fat off the hog.
I mean, good, huh, Freedom?
123 billion surplus? What kind of marriage is that?
I would.
What
say
kind of? No, you would. What kind of relationship? And as a result, ladies and gentlemen, of this unfair, lack of transparent relationship between the U.S. and Vietnam in trade, the Vietnamese dong is pennies on the dollar. Just imagine. I hope I don't hit no one in the heart. Imagine being married to someone where you do everything you are supposed to do to satisfy your partner, and they're ungrateful.
Facts.
They take advantage of you. They take you for granted. They leech off you, milk you, your spiritual, your spiritual and your intellectual power. They take it from you. And all you want is fair love in return. And they don't give it to you. That's been the relationship between the United States and Vietnam. President Trump, through these tariffs, is saying enough, Vietnam, enough is enough. If you don't, Vietnam, if you don't, and this is not just Vietnam, there's 80 other countries, same thing. President Trump is saying, if you don't open your borders, if you don't love me the way that I love you, if you don't love doing business, and if you don't love it the way I've been loving you, you've been taking for years, decades, I've been giving you all of myself. Everything that I could possibly give, you just take and take and take. Now, just like in a relationship, when you finally lay the gauntlet down, when you finally threaten to leave or to put down some repercussions, all of a sudden they want to do right. Vietnam picked up the phone when Trump was telling them, we're going to put these tariffs on you like a big old divorce. Vietnam called and said, no, we want to love you the way you've been loving us, America. Let's talk. Can we have an amicable a relationship now?
Wait a minute, baby. Let me talk to you real quick.
Don't walk out the door just yet.
Let me tell you something.
I bought you your favorite flowers and some chocolate. So now this comprehensive strategic partnership This is where now what is one of the, if not the major components? Vietnam is saying, okay, United States, we want to do better. So let's get to what Vietnam is saying. Let's go to the next.
Okay. Yes, in a market economy, an emerging country's currency can revalue, increase in value relative to other currencies.
In a market economy, in emerging countries, Vietnam is considered an emerging country or an emerging economy. That's what they're called. So in a market economy, an emerging country like Vietnam's currency can revalue, which increase in value relative to other currencies. Go ahead.
The value of a currency is influenced by supply and demand in the foreign exchange market. Factors like increased demand for a country's currency due to economic growth, strong exports, or foreign investment can drive up the currency's value, leading to revaluation.
Can you read that one more time?
Sure.
Can you read that?
The value of a currency is influenced by supply and demand in the foreign exchange market. Factors like increased demand for a country's currency due to economic growth, strong exports, or foreign investment can drive up the currency's value, leading to revaluation.
See, this is what Trump is requesting. Open your borders so that we, the United States and others, can import into your country, for investors to come into your country. Because what happens when you open your borders so that we can ship goods into your country? Well, it can be billions and trillions of dollars. It'll be settled in the Vietnamese dong. So therefore, through supply and demand, the value relative will go up. And open your borders, open your country to foreign investment. President Trump knows all about this. His own personal company is will be breaking ground in Vietnam to build hotels, golf courses, and houses and real estate. That's foreign investment. Go, young lady.
This is because a market economy allows for the forces of supply and demand to determine exchange rates. And external factors like investor sentiment and economic fundamentals can lead to currency appreciation.
This is because a market economy allows for the forces of supply and demand to determine exchange rates. Right now, the Central Bank of Vietnam determines the exchange rate. But a market economy allows for the force of supply and demand. So see now, next what Peculiar Ram is going to read you is the Prime Minister of Vietnam told his negotiating team that came to visit the United States on May the 1st, he gave them an order. See, it's like the United States was threatening to divorce Vietnam. And the Prime Minister sent his best friend to go talk to his lady and beg her not to leave. So this what you're about to hear, what is directly from the Prime Minister of Vietnam, where the Prime Minister of Vietnam told his negotiation team, go to United States on May the 1st, and this is what we want you to propose to the United States. Go ahead, young lady.
Prime Minister Ching, I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, my apologies, added that negotiations must be conducted in a calm, steadfast, but flexible spirit, which must ensure sovereignty, national security, and national interests, as well as Vietnam's international commitments.
Now, this is the prime minister speaking, and then he continues. Go ahead.
The agencies should discuss with the U.S. side so that the two sides could reduce import tariffs on each other's goods to low and commensurate levels, he ordered.
He ordered. So now the prime minister all of a sudden has an epiphany.
Oh,
Oh, maybe we should do something right. Maybe we should do something fair in this trade that we have with our largest trade partner, the United States, that we've been the biggest economy in the world for the last 40, 50 plus years, and we've been eating off of the United States real good. Then he continues to tell his negotiators something else. Go ahead, young lady. This is the prime minister talking. Go ahead.
They should also propose the U.S. soon recognize Vietnam as a market economy and remove restrictions as a market economy. And remove restrictions on high-tech exports, contributing to balancing trade and technology transfer.
So the prime minister continues and says, they, meaning the United States, meaning that his negotiation team, should propose the United States to soon recognize Vietnam as a market economy and remove restrictions on high-tech exports, contributing to balancing trade and technology transfer. So now the Vietnamese prime minister is saying the United States should recognize them as a market economy. Last year, when they wanted the United States to recognize them as a market economy under the Biden administration, there were no threats of tariffs. There was no threats of any sorts. It would have still been imbalanced in the relationship, where we couldn't go into Vietnam to provide them with products and services. We couldn't bring, and no one could bring other investors into Vietnam. If the United States would have recognized Vietnam as a market economy last year, would have impacted the value of the Vietnamese dong? Yes, but there's a big difference now when you got a real leader in the White House.
Yes.
Who it's like as if President Trump was holding now think about it, a Trump card. He was holding the market economy as a Trump card. Because folks, what you got to realize, the reason why Vietnam's economy is so robust, is so strong, again, between 1992 and 2022, the second largest growing economy in the world is Vietnam. Second to China. So Vietnam, and actually it's been calculated that 6% annual growth in their economy. But all of this is because of the United States economy. Each and every one of you that pay taxes, you don't even realize you pay taxes in the United States, you buy goods, you obtain services. The power of that US dollar that you spend has been going to Vietnam,
Lord,
to empower their economy. And Trump has had a Trump card all these years, not just with Vietnam, but all these other countries. Trump knows if Trump says, okay, we're going to stop you importing all of these goods from Vietnam into the United States, Vietnam's economy would tank. It'll be a collapse. We have all the leverage. So if Trump recognizes Vietnam as a market economy, which they are actually in negotiations to do so right now. This comprehensive strategic partnership through Vietnam agreeing to open their borders to allow the U.S. to import, open to investors coming in, removing the non-trade barriers on the U.S. It's like all of a sudden Vietnam wants to do the right thing in this relationship.
Oh, all of a sudden, huh?
All of a sudden. But and a part of that they are negotiating is to be recognized as a market economy. Now, if you could read one more time, what is a market economy, beloved?
Sure. What is a market economy? A market economy is an economic system in which the production of goods and services is determined by supply and demand. In a market economy, interactions between consumers and businesses determine what is available and at what price.
So if Vietnam is recognized as a market economy, the Vietnamese dong will no longer be controlled by the central bank of Vietnam, but the international market through supply and demand will determine the value of the Vietnamese dong. Does that make sense, beloved?
It absolutely does. It's about time that we got our fair share.
Exactly. That's what we're in the midst of negotiations right now with. Now, ER, if you can come back, if you will, beloved, Zach, Amber, and Nickel Zinc. Okay, I see y'all. I'm coming to you. We're going to wrap this up. Okay, and I see you, Nickel Zinc. All right. You beautiful folks, it's amazing. For folks listening also, Peculiar Ram also established with her bankers, things set up. And there's things that she can't discuss opening this call because she's deeper, real in heavy with her banker. But Peculiar Ram, you're set, ready. Can you imagine your voice clip being? No, I'm not gonna go there.
Listen, Freedom, y'all, don't get me started.
I know I don't
I'll
want
be
to get you.
all in that lady live. I'll be all in that lady live. I'm gonna be listening now. Thanks, Zach, for the link because now I'm definitely gonna have my eyes on all of y'all.
Nickel Zinc, ER, Zach, Amber, you want to add anything, any 2 cents to this amazing, powerful information you just heard?
No, I mean, I just think you guys just gotta believe in yourselves, and what Freedom and Wiley and everybody else is showing us is just kind of, you might have to get out of your comfort zone, but you're able and capable to do it, and
yes,
and just take that leap of faith, and you'll be fine.
There you go. Thank you so much. Beloved. ER. Got any peanut butter cookies over there for me? No, I'm just playing. Go ahead.
Yes, I do. I got y'all. I think this is a great time in all our lives, and I would never be able to thank you all enough that I was able to stop listening to the gurus and come over to the other side and I've listened to everybody's stories, Amber and Zach and Brunette Grand and everybody else's, and taking the leap of faith and doing exactly what they did, because I had stopped listening to the gurus for a long time, and I was just waiting, and I started listening to you all when you all was at Seas of Wisdom, and then you all left, and I had to find you again. And I just decided to follow the steps, and it worked just like you said it did.
Yep, and you ain't got to wait on no notification. In fact, like I said, you got your notification email already from your banker for your account.
Yes, I have. Yep, they're all set up.
So, folks, listening to this, and this going back to what Lynn Wick, the hypocrite, said about ER. ER has her accounts set up. She got the email from her banker. For those listening to this, have you gotten anything from anybody in the banking industry for your funds, for the currency that you have, anything? If you haven't, you do have the opportunity to be just like ER, Peculiar Ram, Nichols Inc., Zach and Amber, and then many of the members. You have the opportunity. There's 8 steps we provide to share it with you. But for those of you who follow like old funky panty wearing Lynn, who has no clue what's going on, and I'm intentionally insulting her
at all.
So, because I want this to be a shock to your system, a shock in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of you need to be wakened. You need a shock. See, there was a saying I remember hearing a long time ago, that if you want to get someone's attention, you tap them on the shoulder. If they don't listen, you tap them on the shoulder again. Try them on one more time, tap them on the shoulder to get their attention. If they don't listen, after that, you tap them on the head with a sledgehammer. You will get their attention then. So what I'm doing with Lion Lynn is I'm hitting y'all on the head with a sledgehammer to wake you up. And you'll be grateful. Some of you may get upset and you run and your tail may be tucked between your legs because of what you're hearing. And I do not mind at all, because my message is not for you. It's for that one who wakes up. Zach, Amber, anything the two of you beautiful folks want to add before we get off of here? You can unmute Zach.
I'm just so glad that you exposed her, because apparently she did this before and she was going to keep doing it.
She's done it several times, and I've just been quiet. Been quiet. Okay, Zach, looks like Zach's not. Oh, there you go. I was going to say not in.
Okay.
You and
All
Amber.
we're going to say, yes, all we were going to say was just please don't wait for an email notification, and don't wait for a QFS account direct deposited to your account, because it's not true. We do not want you to wait and miss out. Please don't. Please follow the 8 steps. Check the ISO list for the foreign currency that is going to be accepted, and do that. Come into the room.
Please come into the room, feel the room out, and ask questions. Don't go get yourself blacklisted, please.
Please don't.
Exactly. All right. Wiley may have gone to sleep. I don't see Wiley. If you're here, if not, we're gonna. And I think that will be it. All right, beautiful folks. All right, folks. I know this was a little unusual. We had a tar and feather session, but it was necessary. It got to a point where enough was enough. If someone, as a protector, if someone came, if you were in my house and the YouTube channel and QFS room, it's our house. If someone breaks into our house and violates any one of you, they're going to get hit in the head with a sledgehammer. If I have to go into the safe, we're going to protect this house. And that's what we had to do tonight, to send a message to not only Lion Lynn, but anyone else that wants to take. See, they say imitation is the greatest form of flattery, but this is not even imitation. This is just, I don't know what this is.
A hot mess.
Literally. So, folks, and I know this was tough probably for some of you to hear, but it is what it is. We're going to protect our house and protect our people at all costs. And that's the only thing that matters to us. We love you, beautiful folks. Everyone have a good night. Be well. Take care. Ciao.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the #1 source for the RVGCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RV GCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RV GCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter.